This season of My First Dungeon is sponsored by Mythworks. Mythworks is dedicated to sharing stories we can all enjoy with creators from around the world. They're the publishers of Slug Blaster, The Last Caravan, and of course, the Wildsea. We are thrilled to be working with a company that makes such great games and that is so dedicated to uplifting creators and the actual play community. So head on over to myth.works and use the promo code MyFirstDungeon, all one word, for 25% off your order of the Wildsea, so that you too can set sail upon the verdant waves. Once again, that's 25% off the Wildsea when you go to myth.works and use the promo code MyFirstDungeon. And with that, enjoy the show. Bitcherton is the new improvised Regency podcast from us here at Many-Sided Media, and it is live on Kickstarter right now. This show is basically improvised Bridgerton, but way fucking funnier. And it features some amazing performers, including Katie Maravich, Iffy Wadiway, Carolyn Page, Alex Songshaw, Brian Flaherty, and Cassie Wilson, plus a whole host of surprise guests that you might know from Dropout, Comedy Central, and beyond. But we need your help to make this show a reality. So if you want to hear a full season of Bitcherton, go right now to bitcherton.com and back the campaign. We'll see you there.
The familiar buzz and hum of the voltaic runners carries the crackling heart across the rustling waves. Energy surges from bats into the ship as they reform once again. Clarabelle out front pulls on the reins as she leaps from branch to branch with a lightness and a joy you haven't seen in some time. As far as you can see, the turn to Auburn has accelerated across the waves. Autumn is on its way. Bats. As you power the ship's engine once again, reforming after the near-death experience at the hands of old Ornell, are you shaped like gangly bats, or are you shaped more closely to the memory of Ilya at this point?
I've lost a lot of bats. In the aftermath of the fight with old Ornell, many of them left, which left me with less material to build with. But I do have a closer approximation. I mean, not even an approximation. I know what I looked like before. And so I think of the bats that are left, these are probably the ones that are most aligned with the memories of Ilya. And so the form I take now is more like Ilya than the gangly, stretched monstrosity that bats used to be, but I think is also smaller. Mm-hmm. Purely because I do not have the matter to make up the form, or if I try to, it would be a lot more frail and hollow than a body necessarily should be. And so I think it's probably closer to how Ilya looked when they were 10 than when they were 17.
Great. I want you to take the whisper, a familiar shape.
Ooh, okay, yeah.
Far behind the crackling heart, Out of view, but not yet out of mind, the citizens of Odson's Respite work to rebuild. Merchants and chars, craftsfolk and farmers push large organic mops to clear ichor from the street and clear rubble and shattered amber glass from buildings on the main drag. The lost are mourned, and the affected are treated. Ezra, how many deaths were you responsible for when throwing that grenade?
Oh, shit.
How many people lived in this town at one point?
I think it's probably like a town of a couple thousand, maybe in total.
I'd say fair 25. They were battering at the doors, and I tossed them right where they were centered.
Absolutely. I want you to take the whisper. I want you to take the whisper cracked eggs.
Cracked eggs?
Yes.
Holy.
I'm thinking like cracked eggs to make an omelet. Never mind. It was a bad joke.
I'm with you.
Yeah. No, I'm fair. It's good. It's great.
Great. The Karada saw to the proper care of old Ornail's body, having allowed you to take just one specimen, but stopping you short of a full harvest of the sacred creature's corpse. Izora, what specimen does the crew take aboard, and what whisper do you gain from it?
Oh, if it is up to Izora, we will take a bone of some kind.
God, listen, stop with the bones. They're just getting bigger and bigger.
It could be small bone, just like small piece of pinky toe.
I think, you can fight for more. Try the tail. As for the tail, has a whole series of bones.
The tail is 25 feet long.
We don't have space in ship. We have big cargo area, but it is all where all the snapograph are. We don't want fur on snapograph.
Not the snapographs.
I think we take one of its claws.
We
take a claw. And as I can choose...
Yeah, why don't you choose this whisper? Since it's part of your aspect.
Okay. By tooth and nail.
Ooh, very good. By tooth and nail.
A little literal, but
It's okay. It's no cracked eggs, but it's
no cracked eggs.
The air on the ship is tense, to say the least. Kelly has been deeper in the drink than usual. A glisten of held-back tears cover her eyes whenever you catch them open. Elia and Liz have taken up residence in the ship's tap room, bringing with them a small pack of supplies, a store of food that they're willing to share, and a large crate that Liz drags on board from their ship. Cherry, what ingredient is among their food stores that you've been dying to get your hands on?
Oh, lemongrass. I have wanted lemongrass to make a nice lemongrass mint nice tea for a long time. And I am so thrilled that we finally have some. I think we ran out seasons ago.
I want you to take the whisper just a taste.
I think Cherry also knows that lemongrass is the only time that, lemongrass tea was the only time Whistlin has gotten even close to, drinking the tea on purpose.
Oh, you like the lemongrass, huh?
He likes the lemongrass.
Good to know. Good to know.
By the way, we had a whole slight ship retrofitting. Any chance we could have gotten a heating element in this thing?
No, we don't need that.
Sorry, the steep said no.
No.
Flashback to a bunch of guys carrying this oven on, being like, "All right, we got your chemical oven here."
No, it's fine. Take it back.
Oh, are you sure it's bought and paid for?
Yeah, no, it's fine. We don't need it. We haven't needed it for as long as we've been. Just take it away.
Hey, Paula, your mom's looking for an oven, right?
Yeah, man.
All right, let's give it to her. Hey, thanks.
Thanks, tree.
Thanks, tree.
Just gonna do a whole side season with Paulie and his mom.
Hey, that's a good season right there.
It's just a cooking season.
Can we actually explore Polly and his mom for the rest of the
Yeah,
campaign?
actually, we're going to move back to Odson's Respite to Polly and his mom.
That's on the Patreon.
Yeah. Elia's injuries keep her relatively isolated that first day of travel. In fact, all of your injuries and the exhaustion of what you've been through in the last day keep you relatively isolated that first day. You rest, you eat, and you sail. It's not until that first night that anyone breaks the thick silence. Whistlin, or should I call you Whistlin now? What do you sing that first night to break the silence for the first time?
After a day of just kind of sitting with his regained memories, I think for Mothrin, you're always getting fragments of past memories, but to have a full past pupation thrust upon him, I don't think Mothrin can often be considered wise just because they don't have enough years to live to gain that wisdom. And all of a sudden, his lifespan has doubled in living memory. And I think he's sitting with all of the things that entails. But as he's doing it, he is playing around with the amber dial. The chart, I forget, I had like... I had a metal
disc
piece
of amber, and Ezra had the metal rings that you guys combined into a chart.
Yeah, I'm playing with this piece of amber and these metal rings that seem to be forming into some kind of like fancy like compass thing. And as I start aligning them at night, they click into place, and I hold them up to the stars, and the bubbles in the amber line up to constellations and lead us in a direction.
Damn straight they do.
I'd like you to take the whisper on the right path.
Oh.
And I think as he recognizes the path, I don't think there's any choice in him but to sing a song about finding a path. And Jay and I are going to sing it for you.
Give me a chart and I'll sing you a story of sailors that sailed here before. They forged the pathways that all of us follow, so follow with caution but sail them with joy.
Read not the chart for the arrows and dashes. The dashes are foolish, the arrows are lies.
Lies on a chart, find the truth in its branches, the branches that carry you into the world.
The world is not kind and the leaves they are hungry, a hunger that rustles and cries for your soul.
Your soul is not something with which you can barter. You barter with only the things that you own.
Whistlin! Stop! The ship tips 90 degrees as you guys come over the precipice of a great whirlpool in the waves, and Kelly grabs you as you get tossed forward, threatened to fall off in the midst of your reverie and in the midst of your song. At the center of the whirlpool is a great pitch black hole you know to be the Whisper Well.
Oh, fuck!
Oh my god.
What do you do?
Clarabelle, pull up!
Clarabelle scrambles onto the deck in fear.
Can I think not even out of trying to, and he's just gonna yell out, I thought we were on the right path! We are! And I'm gonna use my whisper on the right path right away.
Oh! Yes! Very good. Very good.
My goodness.
Also, Jay, Brian, are you alright that I interrupted you and scared you a bit?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I love being scared.
Love being
If you want the
scared.
full song, go to the Patreon.
Brian, could you roll D6 for me?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ask. I'm just gonna finagle a little bit because I'm, Whistlin and Whittling now. I've gained a whole previous existence,
Wow.
previous occupation. Could I maybe roll 2 and take the one I prefer?
Nope.
All right.
Can I give an advantage to?
This is not even a roll with advantages.
Wait.
Hey, but could it be?
This is the whisper D6.
Hey, but
okay?
could it be?
Elliot, I jumped up. I rushed forward as soon as the ship started tipping, and I saw Whistlin, whatever. They're all the same word, anyways. If 2 people said the whisper at once, if it was shared between 2 people like this chart was, could we each roll and take the better result?
It was 2 parts of a whole.
Could you each roll and take the better? No, wait.
We each roll. Whoever gets the better result, the result we want, that's the effects, and the whisper's lost either way.
I don't think there. No.
It was worth a shot.
Hey,
So
I'll be
fair.
honest. I really respect a hard no.
What you asked sounded really good, but I think no.
So
I
fair.
like the hustle a lot, but I think
I was
All right.
gonna say it was a good offer.
All right, I'm rolling. What's the bad one?
it depends on what you feel is bad.
I got a 6.
That is a shout.
That's great,
Well,
No,
No.
isn't it?
The right
No.
path shouted means a large twist that the rest of the table informs. So it's out of Whistlin's control.
I think it fits though because
It does. It does. I think it's
all of a
great.
sudden he looks down. He's looking forward across the verdant expanse, and then all of a sudden is looking down into a black pit and just shouts, "I thought we were on the right path. I'm sorry, guys. I was having an epiphany about my life."
I think the right path is in the whisper well. I think the whole ship goes in, but we don't have enough time to activate the shell until we're already surrounded by dark.
Ooh.
Izora, what was your pitch?
My pitch is way dumber. It's that our ship can only turn right from now on.
What is this, Zoolander?
Look, it's world altering because there's going to come a time where we need to turn left and we can't. But I feel like maybe Ezra's is the way to go.
Okay. We'll put it on the board.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to vote for Noordin.
We have always turned right. So Ezra, what's your goal is that this chaos is still the right path. Despite the insanity, it's still the right path.
Yeah, I think, and like I would argue this meeting, because the thing is, okay, hear me out, my fellow players, and my dear Firefly. It takes a roll from a ship to go from one layer to the other. We get to skip that with this one screen. Sure, it's gonna suck, but we skip a roll, and that saves our ship. I'm smarter than I look.
With this one simple trick.
This one simple trick that
They
doctors
Fireflies
hate.
They don't want you to know.
Fireflies hate him.
Fireflies hate
hate
one
him.
simple trick.
That's so funny. So here's 2 things I'll tell you. I like this. I think that there can be a version of this. That hole in legend in your mind goes straight to the darkness under eaves, as far as you know. I can't confirm nor deny that at this time. I will also say that descending increases pressure. So if we go all at once, we will be upping the pressure track a few times and there will be pressure consequences. I'm fine with all of those things. I just want to make sure that you guys feel fully informed about your choices.
I like it.
I like it too.
Great.
Let's dive in, baby.
Well, it's okay. I'm going to say this just for the record. Felix listening to this right now is horrified because the one thing he warned you not to do in the book is not to rush your way in or rush your way out. And we're like, fuck it.
It's episode 5, baby. We're rushing.
Yeah.
We didn't rush in. We fell in.
Yeah.
We fell in. There was nothing we could have done.
There's literally nothing.
We had a whole game plan. This is going to take a couple of days. We're going to extend the season by a few episodes, really take our time.
We were just saying that.
Just saying this.
Okay, so who's behind the wheel? How are we doing this, folks?
I think Izora, when they were leaving, her whole thing was like, I get back to the ship. I don't know if Kelly took over when she boarded, but my whole plan was to get me and Clarabelle back to, like, just escape. So I think Izora might be
scrambled and gone to you out of fear.
Yeah.
So you're getting Clarabelle inside?
If Kelly's at the wheel, then yeah, I think that I'm chastising Clarabelle.
Kelly is at the wheel. Elia and Liz are sort of in the same area as Kelly, observing what's going on. Clarabelle scampers inside with you, Izora. Kelly is at the wheel, fighting against the wheel as this maelstrom of leaves and branches, and you hear the great cracking of branches as this suction, this whirlpool, quickly pulls you towards it.
What are Elia and Liz doing?
Elia, interestingly, has a hand on Kelly's shoulder amidst this chaos.
Wow.
I don't like that. I don't trust it.
Do they look scared?
Elia looks very calm, but the calmness of somebody who is used to hiding their fear, not necessarily calm as in wanting this.
Understood.
I think Whistlin is in the observation tower where he was doing like calculations and stargazing and all that stuff. There is essentially a seatbelt up there. He recognizes that if he tries to get down, he's screwed. So he's just buckling in, and he's going to have to stare down the eye of the storm one way or the other. So he's buckling in and trying to get material for his next song, I guess.
Buckling in starts tuning.
It's just like, gotta make use of the time.
In response to Whistlin's scream, Ezra is going to say, "We're on it!" The right path, that is. And he's going to rush down the edges of the ship and bang upon these cabinet doors that start leaching out these slick, sort of amorphous ichor liquid that'll slowly cover the ship. Not in time, unfortunately.
Oh, getting the amoeba bubble going?
Yeah, because we haven't actually said that on the main campaign, so I thought, like, narratively, I thought that'd be cool.
Okay, very good. No, very good. Good call. You find the trigger system for this new enclosure that will protect the ship once you go beneath the waves, and as this slick oil bubble starts to rise, you guys get pulled faster and more steeply. You see in the distance as a what's the word for a group of animals? Herd? Nope.
Herd.
A menagerie.
Pack.
Flock?
Murder?
I'm looking for pack.
I guess it depends on the kind of animal.
A pack of pinwolves desperately tries to scramble up the side of this whirlpool as they get pulled into the center, letting out sort of scared, frightened howls.
As Whistlin is buckling himself in and staring down the eyes of this whisper well, can I pull on the mask of the Void Eternal?
Yeah, you can do that.
Oh.
I want to pull on the mask, and I don't know if there's necessarily like I think it's like a full mask, but I'm trying to, I don't know, channel it, use it, see through it, see if it can do anything to help us get through this situation in better shape than we think we're going to be.
You don this mask, and what was a cacophony of breaking branches and leaves and the beginning of that same deep howl you heard beneath the few whispers of the last few sessions. Silence as soon as you put on the mask. Instantly silent. A black void clouds your vision. I would ask, what are you looking for? What's a kind of question you want this thing to answer, or a specific piece of guidance you're looking for?
I think before he puts it on, it's like a cacophony of questions. It's like, what are we doing? Where are we going? How are we going to survive this? What's happening? Am I buckled in? Is my guitar tuned properly? Do I sound good? What's happening here? What happened to my previous life? And he puts it on, and those questions fall away. And the one that remains is, how do we give it back?
Oh.
You are in this void, and you throw out, whether verbally or just as a feeling, how do we get it back? and the calmness of the void is interrupted with a flash of a beast of a size you cannot comprehend, made of pale glowing hair and violent toothy mouths as big as the largest ship you've ever seen, and you are pushed out of the void.
That wasn't as helpful as last time.
As we're descending and Izora is feeling panicked and chaotic, not necessarily fearful, but just sort of chaotic of she's like half screaming at Clarabelle of like, "You cowardly beast, you're supposed to lead us where we are to go. Why would you lead us into hell?" And she, because she's taken some mires, she's feeling a little clouded, and this is just not a feeling that she enjoys. But in all of this chaos, she's going to try to recenter herself, and then I'd like to use an aspect called Whispers in the Dark. Which is while in a dimly lit or unlit area, mark to learn a secret from the darkness.
Very good. Okay. So you want to do that once you're plunged into darkness, is your thought? Okay.
She's trying to center her mind, and it's with the chaos of everything. She's been injured, and her mires are coming for her.
As the ship slides further towards this, as the whole of the Whisper Well grows a little bit bigger, almost like it is eager to swallow you up, anybody who's on the deck hears Captain Kelly with fear but acceptance in her eyes look at the Whisper Well, feel Elia's hand on her shoulder, and says, "If this is to be my final sentence, let us succumb to the pain of remembrance."
I was gonna ask about her whisper.
And the ship tips over the edge into the Whisper Well. You are plunged into darkness, and you are plunged into memory. The journey to retrieve the heart of the Void Eternal was one that was taken by Kelly, by Whistlin, by Cherry, and by Izora. You did not remember it until now. I would like to ask each of you first. Cherry, why did you think that stealing the heart would help you find a place in life, or help you move on from the past?
Cherry acted out of a place of regaining power, because where she was raised and where she grew up and what she was born into was a place where she was put to work, and the things that she likes about herself were used by other people to do horrible things. Killing, death, and terrible things to dead bodies. And after she escaped and left people behind, she so desperately wanted to regain any little bit of power. And the promise of having a piece of a creature that is unfathomably large and powerful, and just having that piece of that, even if it's shared, felt intoxicating. And it feels like I become the bigger person, bigger than the people who did horrible things with me at their side.
Cherry, you remember being lit up by the reflections of sunlight from somewhere above down through these amber roots of this great iron root, and you remember climbing on top of this body of the Void Eternal, of this Leviathan, a great amber body. And you remember the terrible things you did to that dead body as you swung a great axe into its chest to help Kelly and the others make first entry. Izora, why did you trust Kelly at first in joining her on this mission?
Izora used to be a much more bitter woman, and she took a lot of joy in taking from others because she was mad about what the world had taken from her. And she found that Kelly similarly didn't necessarily have a regard for the larger consequences of her actions. And so Izora found kinship and similar motives within Kelly and enjoyed being led and guided by somebody who allowed her to do these petty and sometimes cruel things.
Izora, you remember the open chest cavity of this great being. And you remember Kelly stepping forward with an eagerness to carve it from the inside of this beast. But you just used something very interesting. Whispers in the dark. You know for a fact this isn't how this memory went, but in this moment, when Kelly makes that first cut to sever the heart from the chest of this beast, similar to before, that ichor forms into a figure for just a second.
Do I recognize the figure?
It's the same figure that appeared in the shadows in the second session to give you a previous secret. Not specific, but something connected to this power of yours to learn from the shadows. And it tells you that the plans that Kelly had for this heart that she told you were a lie.
Ett bastard.
Whistlin. What was the story Kelly told you that convinced you this was the right thing to do?
Kelly has known Whistlin for a long time. Back before they were Whistlin, back when they were Whitlin. And Whitlin and Whistlin and all the previous pupations have been searching for something. And I think this something has gotten lost the further the pupations go. And Whistlin just thinks of it as looking for a song. And I think Kelly knew that Whitlin was looking for a person. She sold him on the idea that the song Darkness Under Eaves, it mentions a fabled sailor becoming one with a great leviathan or being consumed by a great leviathan in some way. She convinced him that fables and legends were not just made up out of the blue, that they're often based on fact, and if you want to go chasing a story and chasing a song and chasing a person, might as well chase this one. And that made enough sense to Whistlin that he was willing to follow.
Whistlin, you remember helping Kelly to heave the heart from within the cavity. And you felt that black ichor drip over your hands in your memory as you guys carried it back to the ship, thinking that maybe, just maybe, this is the key to the end of that story.
And I think after having regained some of his memories and remembering the song that he tossed into the Whisper Well, remembering that he wrote this letter of a song to send out into the ether, he knows enough that he was looking for a response to that letter to the void that he's still yet to find. Also, Elliot, I have a quick question for you.
Please.
Because I lost an aspect last time, you allowed me to gain a new aspect, which I took Worth Telling Twice, which anytime a crewmate or an opponent uses a whisper, I can take a word from it. And when I take 3 words from whispers, I can gain a new whisper. Kelly used a whisper. What was that whisper again?
The whisper is the pain of remembrance.
Pain of remembrance. Thank you. I'll be taking one of those words.
Which word?
I'll decide later.
Please be pain. Please let it be pain.
Just of.
Do you have to build your new whisper with the word remnants of other whispers?
You have to build it with remnants of other whispers. And so you're going to need the word the at some point. You're going to need a connecting word. Conjunction junction, baby.
What's your function?
What's your function?
Bat.
Yeah.
Or in this moment, I really want to talk to Ilya.
Okay.
Why did you stow away on your mother's ship that night?
Oh, that's easy. She told me not to.
Duh, Elliot.
You give a mouse a cookie, they're gonna sneak on your ship.
Yeah, Mom was going on an adventure, and I was like, well, come on, I'm old enough. Let me go. And she said no, and I went, bet. And here we are.
Long story short, here we are.
You went bet, and the Wildsea went back bat.
Exactly.
You remember, the pain of and the memory of the pain of that day that you died is hard to relive. But what you're more willing to spend time in, I would say, is when you arose again as a spirit, awoken by the noise of 4 figures tearing into the body of the Leviathan that killed you. And I would say that in that moment, your spirit stowed away again.
Yeah.
And I want to know why you felt compelled to stow away on Kelly's new ship with these 4.
It was for the same reason that Ilya and Bat does a lot of things. It was impulse. It felt right in that moment. Knew they were leaving. They were going somewhere. And I didn't want to be there anymore. In the dark inside of this great creature, not knowing if time was passing, where I was, what was happening. I'd rather be anywhere but there. And so I tagged along with the heart.
In your memory, Ilya, Bats, the lines start to blur. As you climbed aboard this ship with the 4 of them, none of them saw you, none of them knew you were there. But in this place of concentrated power, as you stepped onto the great oak ship, it took on the pale color of ghost oak as you were bonded to the ship, as you would be in your next life. And Ezra.
Shit.
Ezra, the pain of memory is, I think, maybe especially painful for you because it is of a world you no longer remember. A world that no longer exists, a world that you can't get back no matter how hard you try. What I would ask of you is, in this memory, you realize that your death, or your freezing in amber, not quite your death, your moving out of the old world and into the new, your suspension, was not an accident.
What?
It was punishment for an order that you would not carry out despite a life of ruthlessness. And I would like to know what that order was.
Nowhere have I ever said that Ezra's doctorate was in medicine. But it's got biological roots. And for a long time, he developed the weapons of war that were required of him. One day, he made something non-lethal. Something that would cause a whole platoon to have to race out of a base instead of be killed within it. And he was ordered to make it lethal, to make it worse, to make it bigger and badder. And he refused. And so he was punished. And I think the last words he ever said, "You're damning all of you. And unfortunately for all of us, I might be the only one to live to see it."
Plunged into amber for the crime of not pushing the project that would eventually become something maybe preceding, something akin to Krezerin.
Oh.
The very chemical that transformed this world.
Shit.
Little did your superiors who cast you into amber know, but they were giving you a gift, a new life. And in the pain of this remembrance, you have a half-remembered journey through amber until you found your way into the roots of this iron root, knocked loose by the conflict with the Void Eternal and Kelly and Elia and their crew. And on the return of Kelly and Whistlin and Cherry and Izora, Whistlin walked by a chunk of amber and caught sight of a very handsome coat.
Guys, we gotta take it. Like, I know we've got other things to do, but this coat is so nice.
Add it to the pile, sure.
Should I break him out?
If you could just get the coat, that'd be preferred. But if we gotta break out the whole guy, that's fine too.
I'll do what I can.
See if you can get this squirrel creature as well.
There's a squirrel in there?
My dearest listener, have I got a secret for you? Bitcherton is an improvised comedy podcast inspired by the stories of Jane Austen that tells the tale of a wealthy family's secrets, scandals, and shenanigans. Lady Bitcherton has unwed daughters, nosy neighbors, awful country cousins, and now a body to hide. Will the Bitchertons be able to keep their secrets off the pages of Lady Bigwither's gossip sheet? Or will her pen skewer their good name forever? Oh, Bits, what a predicament. Featuring the voices of Katie Maravich, Iffy Waddiway, Carolyn Page, Alex Songsharp, Brian Flaherty, and Cassie Wilson, plus a dance card filled with guest comedians of the very finest quality. But for us to help the seeds of rumor ripen into the juicy plum of scandal, we'll need your help. Bitcherton is heading to Kickstarter on June 13th. Go to bitcherton.com to pre-save the campaign and help us bring this story to life. Ta-ta for now.
Hey there, it's Elliot from the Many-Sided Media team. In addition to playing and producing here on My First Dungeon, I'm also a game designer, known for such games as Something is Wrong with the Chickens, a rules-like game of chickens, eldritch horror, and revenge. Project Echo, a solo time travel game played in the pages of a planner. and the upcoming Rom-Com Drama Bomb, a 3-player game of meet cutes and mayhem. If you like weird and unique games and want to bring something new to your table, head to moreblueberries.shop and use code MyFirstDungeon for 20% off your order. That's MoreBlueberries.shop. Thanks! As we come to the present, and the crackling heart gets caught on a gnarl of branches and leaves somewhere below the waves in pitch darkness. As the crackling heart gets caught on a great branch, saving you from the descent straight into the darkness under eaves. You can feel, those of you on the deck, the rush of air behind you as the ship teeters a bit on this branch, knowing that if you teetered back, you would fall into the Whisperwell, but if you teeter forward, there might be a path forward through the depths. We are introducing a new mechanic from the Storm and Root expansion, which is pressure.
Oh, no.
This is like other tracks, but it tracks the both physical pressure of being under the waves as well as the mental pressure of being under the waves. Normally, this track starts at 0 and can go up to 3. We're going to start at 1.
I really thought you were going to say 2, and I got really scared.
We're going to start at 1. I will not tell you exactly how long the track is. I will tell you that it is built off of a base of 1, and then you guys gain 2 for depth tolerance from your bubble. You gain 2 for depth tolerance from the Proto-Leviathan skeleton. So you know that it is 5 at least to start. It might shorten as you go deeper, and I will not be letting you know when it's checked, but you will know that different effects are happening when it gets full. And when you move to lower levels of the Wildsea, we will up that number entirely. So, before we resolve the presence, you all have regained your lost memories. I would give you an opportunity now, if you'd like, to ask me one additional question about these regained memories before we come fully back into the present.
One question each?
One question each.
Hey, what's with the heart, Elliot?
What's with the heart?
I think we fully know what's with the heart now, guys. Come on.
Come on.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Cherry.
I feel like this is a waste of a question, but I have to know. Our loss of memories and the fact that we were full of ichor, was that something that happened to us, or was it something that we did? Even like by accident, that we did this to ourselves?
Based on the fact that you know, likely from Whistlin, that Kelly told him that she tossed her memories into the Whisperwell, you think that this is probably a consequence of that. That Kelly intended to toss just her memories into the Whisperwell, but like a monkey's paw, something more was taken.
Wow. Do we have, I know this is a follow-up question, but do we have a timeline on when the Whisperwell happened? The Whisperwell incident with Kelly?
It's a little vague. I'm not super specific on it. Probably between the present. The Whisperwell involved all 5 of you, so it would be since Ezra woke up.
Okay. Understood.
I don't want to ask a question, but I do have something that I think might illuminate some stuff in a very literal sense. I have a specimen called Firefly bulbs. I was wondering if I could use that to try to illuminate, if not the area, at least the deck, so we are able to like move a little more freely. And
nice.
We do have Firefly lanterns on the ship already. We could just turn them on.
That too. Let's resolve all present stuff once we've finished the memory.
Okay, cool.
I don't think Izora has a question.
Okay.
She is shooketh.
So Bats and I had separate memories.
Correct.
Are those the only memories that returned, or we do get
You
get
only
access
got
to?
your individual memories in this instance.
All right. Here's a question. Does Ahab remember the many times I've experimented on him and his kin?
Oh, no.
Yes. Good question.
That's gonna suck.
Bat? Anything?
I mean, again, this sensation is very familiar to Bat, of remembering a thing from a person that I scarcely identify as, or I guess I slightly more identify as. It's still a little weird, right? Because Bat does not see themselves as Ilya. They see themselves as a collection of bats that remember who Ilya was and have those memories from a first-person perspective, which is hard to parse for it, I think. And so I think this new memory of remembering the death of Ilya, remembering Ilya coming aboard the ship, and then both times, is, it's another thing for Bat to process. Yeah.
I've got something.
Okay.
Since Whistlin also kind of regained some of his memories as Whitlin, I think I have more memories just of Captain Kelly.
100%.
Captain Kelly went on this journey, lied to us about why, and also threw away some memories. Do I have any inkling on what those memories that she discarded were?
Yeah, get her.
Yeah,
Get her, Ezra. Take her life.
Fucking get her.
Whoa, Ezra, calm down.
In some capacity, Kelly cast away, and the phrasing that she used must have been wrong or tricked by the Whisperwell. She erased memories of what she did to her crew, or what happened to her crew. And because there were two crews in such recent memory, things got interesting.
Oh, of like Captain Elia, I guess Elia who wasn't even captain then.
It wouldn't have been captain. Kelly would have been captain.
So
you remember
Elia
that now.
And Liz and Whitlin.
Oh my god.
Another thing that both Ilya and Whitlin remember is that Kelly and Elia were in love. They were together.
Called it.
Is Captain Kelly my other mom?
Oh
Captain
my
Kelly, in a
God.
way, is your other mom.
Ship
Aw,
mommies.
Mom's always been here for me.
Oh no.
So that pain of that loss drove Kelly a little mad. As we come back to the present, Whistlin, you create a Firefly lantern from one of your specimens. Ezra, you string up the lanterns that you guys have stored below for nighttime. The oil slick amoeba bubble encloses the ship for the first time, reflecting the light in rainbow patterns. And you see a darkness around you that the light is piercing a little bit, but still is darker than any night that you have witnessed atop the waves. And the other thing you notice is the change in sound. Again, you have that rush of air, but the wind from above is muffled, and there are sounds of creatures that you have never heard. There are sounds of spirits wailing as they travel endlessly through the drown and the sink. And there is that howl, that ever-present howl. What do you guys do?
I want to go right up to Captain Elia, former Captain Elia,
Sister Lie.
Sister Elia.
You realize that Captain Elia and Kelly are having a bit of a tense moment, an unspoken tense moment where there's a lot of complicated, many emotions happening, but you come up and they sort of shake it off and look at you.
I say what I say hoping that everybody else on the ship, all of my crewmates, will hear me, because Cherry expects that they will be on her side about this. And I just kind of walk right up to Captain Elia, and I go to reach out one of my arms but don't have it anymore because I'm half of a tree. I reach out the other arm and I miss the strength that I used to have, and I try to pull Captain Elia around to face me, and I think it's way weaker than I expected, and so I just get frustrated. But when she does turn to look at me, I look at her and I just say, "We have been in so much danger since you targeted us not a few days ago. And now you're just here, part of the crew, and we've delved into the Whisper Well. We could have died. Bats almost died."
She nods.
"What are you doing here?"
Begins signing in Old Hand as Liz translates for her. "What I did to your ship was what needed to happen to begin us on this course.
What do you mean?
I am sorry that you saw me as an enemy then, but no, I am your ally now in fixing the problem that I in part created. And I'm sorry you are involved."
You shot at Whistlin. You could have killed Whistlin.
Technically, Liz shot at Whistlin.
Oh.
You just hear Whistlin from up top.
I also imagine Liz like pausing, reading those signs and being like, I have to say that.
Yeah, you know what? Is the translation accurate? I'm going to ask it again.
Yes, it is accurate. Liz is a good translator, if not a good person.
Whistlin's also up top, and it just looks at the bullet hole through Captain Elias' head and just goes, whispers to himself, "Scoreboard."
I kind of turn around and make eye contact with like a bunch of my crewmates, as many as I can.
Yeah, everybody's probably up here at this point. Oh, Bats, no? We'll get to you.
I'm still, because I was powering the engine of our ship, right?
I imagine that's a thing you can do from anywhere on the ship.
Well, you can act as an additional engine for your ship, powering its bite with your mere presence. So I guess just while I'm on board.
Yeah, I imagine because of the lightning rods and everything, you kind of have like a chain of voltaic energy going into them at all times.
Cool. I still don't necessarily know if I'm up here because I've been actively avoiding my mother.
That's fair. So, Cherry, who do you turn to and look for kind of support?
I think it's got to be Izora.
Yeah.
But I give Whistlin a quick look because I'm almost indicating like, I need you to be on my side for this, but I don't know what Whistlin knows. And so I just turn back to her and I just say, "Well, none of us want you here. Right?" And then I look back to my crewmates.
Kelly sort of steps forward. "That's not explicitly true, Cherry."
I'm going to quickly roll a d6. Hold on.
Why?
All these whispers.
That's a 4.
Okay.
The situation more from us begs. Just eliminate the tension like a dozen cracked eggs. And it's said out loud. It said, like, it's almost resigned.
Well done.
Wow.
Thank you.
You know what's so good, and this is something I forgot to say after the intro because we got caught up in things, is all of the whispers you guys gained in that intro have the hungry tag, which means that they remove something from the world rather than add to it. So that is the perfect use of it.
Wow.
Thank you.
You cut the tension out of the air. Cherry, you feel your shoulders, quote unquote, drop. Your branches bristling slow. Elia, you see, calms a bit. Captain Kelly steps back, no longer ready to fight with you in the way that she might have appeared to. Everything is a little bit more... You're not angry, but you are less likely to overreact, I would say.
Can Whistlin just kind of come down from the observation deck and just kind of stand, almost like put a hand on Cherry's shoulder with his back to Captain Linus, just kind of like whispering in Cherry's ear? There's a lot more history between those two than I think any of us really realized until just now. Yeah, I'm okay with forgiving this person for shooting at me. I don't love that they're here, but I think I'm happy to use them while they're here. We gotta get this heart back, and 4 more hands can only help, right? They're not staying forever. They're just staying for now.
As Whistlin approaches the back of the ship where you guys are all talking, you feel that small shift in weight lean the ship a little bit toward the Whisper Well, a reminder of your precarious position.
Izora is overcome by sadness, remembering all of the things and the person she used to be. And it has given her a renewed sense of urgency in getting this task completed. Of it could be one good thing that she can do. So she would like to try to use a whisper.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm going to roll that d6.
Fix everything.
As Abby does this, Brian, Whistlin, I should say. Cracked eggs is a whisper, which means I think you have to take a word from it, and you got to take a word from whatever
that's
Abby
true,
has,
yeah,
and you'll have a full whisper.
Thank you.
Good call out.
Taking eggs, right?
Hey, you're
Pain
taking eggs,
and
right?
eggs.
Yeah, remembrance of eggs.
The pain
Remembrance of eggs. Izora, roll that d6 and then tell me what Izora says.
It's not what I wanted, but it's not that bad. It's a 2.
Okay, so this is a discovery, so it will be a whisper no matter what the intention of opening your mouth to say it is.
All right. So Izora again she's really overcome by remembering how angry and bitter she used to be and all the bad things that she did because of that. And the pain of things lost, of like what she had tossed in the Whisper Well and all of these things. And so what she intends to speak into truth gets caught up in her throat. And she is going to whisper.
You just see Whistlin behind you with a notebook.
He's behind her.
For the first time in your life, you turn around. Yeah, exactly. You turn around and Whistlin's just there.
Is this what I have been doing the entire time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Izora is going to whisper, "Let us go forward to find our mark through the comforting dark."
Very good. Very good. What is the information you would like from that whisper?
Could it be as simple as like a vague direction of
Yeah, you want like guidance?
yeah.
You say this whisper, and you see sort of like a wispy spirit-like light kind of move past the ship, and you look forward as you see that there are a series of these lights kind of flickering to guide a path forward.
Izora is going to she's walking, but because her tether is a little bit loosened with all these mires, she goes forward to front of ship where she could sort of guide it. She's going to do a little hop to try to unbalance the ship weight enough to sort of nudge it.
You do the little hop, and it like way overcorrects frontward, but not threatening to like fall into the Whisper Well. That's just how precariously you are perched.
Oh no.
Izora, stop that.
We are going, it is this direction.
Does the path laid out for Izora go downward further into the Whisper Well, or does it go...
It's going away from the Whisper Well, but it does gradually seem to make its way down. You guys will still have to, and based on your chart reading and everything, you know that eventually you will have to descend down into the drown in order to find the body of the Void Eternal.
Can I say with that whisper, I feel like bending the rules a little bit, but because it's the comforting dark, that Izora's motion to do this, it's clear, it's the kind of thing of everybody's reaction to it is like, why would we doubt that? Like, of course, yeah, she must know.
Yeah.
I love that.
the ship starts moving again. You guys settle this tension for now. Ezra uses this whisper to kind of calm everybody down enough to get back to business. Kelly says, Cherry, we can talk about it in a bit, but let's keep moving. We're in a tough spot.
I'm going to make some tea, and I'm using your lemongrass.
Alaya sides. We brought the lemongrass to share.
Well, I'm using it.
Jerry, I will take a cup when you have a moment.
Okay, thank you.
Kendo, you resurge some energy from below to get things kicked back up after the initial stop, and the ship begins its journey through the tangle. I would now say let's go into a montage of this journey through the depths. A reminder for montages, I would love it if you include at least one other crew member and you get one task, so one role. And because of the point we're at in the story, if you don't want it to be, a business type role of recovery or acquisition and you want it to be like a small RP moment, that's totally fine by me. But there should be one role associated with whatever you're doing.
Would anyone be comfortable, so I can heal everyone, repairing my gun for me? Because I've got the parts and I've got the gun, and you can actually utilize the parts, deleting them, to just get one natural success anyway. So it will succeed, but I need someone else to do that because I only have so many hands.
Whistlin is listening to this out of character conversation, going, "I don't trust this."
How do you want that gun fixed?
Whistlin breaks the fourth wall and is like, "Wait a minute.
Hold on. That sounds dangerous."
Whistlin has the power of 2 storytelling Mothrans on his side. He can have a little fourth wall break as a treat.
Whistlin has that Deadpool superpower.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Great aspect. Great homebrew aspect.
Great homebrew aspect.
Burn to break the fourth wall just a little bit.
I don't think Whistlin would be any help with that.
Ezra, you recognize that Liz was the one who shot Whistlin and might be familiar with guns. If you're willing to engage with her, you don't necessarily have to be.
Great. I walk past Liz on my way down, and I just say, if you're going to stay on the ship, you might as well make yourself useful. Do me a favor, repair that, would you? And then I hand over the revolver and the parts.
Yeah.
You ever seen several lizards raise an eyebrow?
I raise an eyebrow back and I say, "You look hurt. Do you really want to piss off the doctor right now?"
Fuck, that's hard.
Wow.
Liz looks down at the half of their body that is slumped from being chomped by old Ornail, the many lizards that are moving a little bit more sluggish, and says, "Fine."
Thank you.
I think Whistlin is sitting just on the stairs and sees this encounter and just goes, "Fuck." He just Liz walks past, he goes, "Listen up, you got owned. You got absolutely owned. Straight up, that was savage." And I just pat Liz on the back that must have sucked for you. You're gonna have to. It's gonna take a while to recover from.
Whistlin, what's something embarrassing about you that the crew that killed the Void Eternal would know?
There's a section of Whittlin's wings that he very deliberately tries to hide because he did some really bad stick and poke tattoos in one of his way younger pupations that he's very embarrassed of.
What is one of them of?
Honestly, it's this is when he was really young in an early pupation. It's dick.
Liz leans forward and says, "I'd keep your mouth shut, dick wings," and walks away.
Whistlin just fully cowed, just kind of sits down and goes, "Man, I was just sitting here."
You said you got owned.
Yeah, you did. You kind of had that coming, Whistlin.
To be fair, Liz did get owned. So
Whistlin, you realize that Liz is the gal that you crewed with, reborn.
Oh.
In the same way that Bats was reborn, Liz is the gal from that original crew.
Was their name still Liz before they were Liz?
Their name was Liz. It's actually a really funny thing that lizards became their form because their name was Liz.
Sometimes that just happens.
The gods like to play games.
So true.
As you guys sort of move through the tangle, the dull yellow light of these fireflies illuminate the sides. You see that on one of the branches of a nearby tree, there is a group of several wretch beaks, which are large, human-sized vultures without wings, but with arms and legs.
Oh, God.
Scavengers, mostly, that pick apart dead ships and dead creatures. And what's notable about these creatures is that they are known for their glowing yellow eyes. These wretch beaks all have black ichor eyes, and they just watch you on your journey as if a little signal that something knows that you're doing what it wants.
Oh, no.
When I see those birds and recognize the ichor eyes, I'm assuming that the Void Eternal is able to like see through these things, or is maybe they are like an early messenger. Can I try to give that same like genuflecting bow of respect?
Yeah,
like,
do you want this to be your montage task?
actually, yeah, I'd love
Okay.
for it to. So I guess I'll roll Flourish and Grace, and I do have I've got gear, a tuning fork. Once per scene, increase impact when engaged in a performance of some kind.
Yeah, do you do some kind of performance in this genuflection?
I think the bow is a type of performance in itself.
Okay, great.
I think Whistlin, like looking back through previous pupation, remembers like this. The art of bow and of handshakes is like a thing that is practiced. It is like an art form in and of itself that he was once pretty fluent in.
Yeah, build your pool for me.
Could I? So I've got Grace, 1 from Grace, 3 from Flourish. I'll be able to increase the impact. Could I take an advantage by putting on the Void Eternal mask?
Sure. Yeah, I like that.
That's 5. I'm good with that. Okay, no, that's fine. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it would
2,
be
3,
a
4, 5.
5, but I increase impact. So it's a 6. Oh. Or it goes from...
Impact marks an extra box or has more effect / power, so it doesn't change.
Okay.
There's not no drawback. Yeah.
Copy. Okay.
So what is the impact you hope to have with this sort of genuflection?
I hope to communicate to the Void Eternal, this heartless beast that we're slowly making our way towards, rapidly making our way towards, that we mean to do right by it, and that we come in peace, and that we come to atone.
Okay. The wretch beaks seem to acknowledge this as you have the mask on. Within the void, you are given a whisper at the cost of a specimen. The drawback is going to be that the void seems to want you to put a specimen within it, but it is giving you a whisper as a sign of good faith.
I don't have any specimens, but I do have some charts.
Okay.
Could I... We're going a little against how the rules work, but could I give it the amber dial that got us here?
Yes.
Kind of with the implication that I'm giving you our way home as a show of good faith.
I think you get the whisper, follow the light.
I'll take it.
And we move continuously through the tangle as you guys continue to follow these lights side to side. The howling in the distance has almost the rage and pain of an animal in a trap is sort of the vibe you're getting from the howl in the distance. Who would like to go next?
I'll go next, but it'll be really short. I have this trait called Ceaseless Tending, so I can work up to 3 traits, injuries, or companions at a time to heal them, basically.
Wonderful.
And I feel like for that I'm going to resolve the roll now, and I'm just going to show up in other people's scenes and offer to heal them for a little bit.
Okay.
Because that makes the most sense to me. He's wandering around, traveling healer. Before I do, though, he's going to go to a small sort of, it's a Russian nesting vase that is stuffed with scraps of rags and a small, very fuzzy squirrel. He goes to Ahab. You know I'm sorry, right?
Ahab just looks at you.
You and I were both forced to do things. I was forced to hurt you. And I'm never going to do that again.
Do you put a hand out?
I do. I extend one hand out.
Bites you.
That's all right. Bite as much as you like.
Ezra, you have ghost sight, right?
Yeah.
When Ahab bites you, it's like a frame slipped into a movie. You see the visage of old Ornale biting you at the same time.
You're not him.
Small chitter.
I reach out and I gently pet Ahab on the head. You're my friend. We've survived a lot. More than anyone else on the ship will ever know. We'll keep on going. We're survivors. Don't give up on me now.
Small chitter. Not sure how Ahab's not sure how to feel at the moment.
Well, how about this? Help me heal up our crewmates. Alright? Help me heal them up. And we can keep on figuring out what we mean to each other. Yeah?
Small chitter of agreement. I can't do a squirrel noise. I wouldn't know where to start.
They sound weird.
Just try once.
I looked up
It's like a
noises. Yeah. You want it to be
like a
cute
dolphin.
and it's not quite.
It's not
quite.
quite.
Same thing with deer. Deer are
Oh,
It's
deer
awful.
sounds are bad, yeah.
That's the reason why I picked a squirrel, by the way. I wanted it to sound bad.
every part of me wants the squirrel to sound cute, and it's just this far off from being cute.
Squeak, 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 squeakerson. Squeak, squeak.
Squeak, 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 squeak.
I'm going to gently pick up Ahab and tuck him back in my front breast pocket. And I'm going to roll now. Does that give me an advantage to help heal?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
The squirrel vantage.
Is this you still roll for this aspect of healing, yeah? Okay.
I do. Now, I could use a specimen. Like, I could just use it up and delete it. I'm not going to because I don't want to do that.
Okay.
I need a specimen, though, to make this work. I have enough.
Okay.
I think for this, because I'm interfering in other people's scenes and I'm wandering around as they go around daily life, that this is tides. I'm learning more about them as I propose to heal them.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, 10, 1 dice for my preview pet, my dear old Ahab. Is there anything else that will give me an advantage here? No, there is not. Any cut, my friend?
No cut.
Okay, let's do this.
There's no cut.
Come on, ones. Come on, ones are good, right? All right. So, I have a 6, a 5, a 2, and 2 1s. I'll show up on your scenes and heal 2 marks. I can heal a max of 2 from each track.
Great.
Before I do, though, I have a little twist here.
Yeah.
Actually, I want to forego the twist. Can we hear me out? Can I instead have a snap?
Oh, somebody's been reading the rules. I was just going to talk about snap.
What's a snap?
A snap is a unique form of twist in specifically when you are delving beneath the Wildsea. You can opt to replace a twist once per scene with a snap. Using a snap, it is a negative twist explicitly, and it relieves 1 mark of pressure on the pressure trap.
Ooh.
Nice.
And we have exactly 1 mark, right?
You have some amount of marks.
Well, you're going to get rid of those.
I'm going to get rid of one of them, let's be clear.
Let's be clear. Only one of them are gone.
Now let's be clear here. Counselor.
That's in his Firefly voice.
Counselor.
Welcome to the Firefly.
Let me make myself clear.
So it's a negative twist that the rest of the table has input for.
But it doesn't need to be, like, mechanically it relieves the pressure, but the twist doesn't need to be, like,
Doesn't need to explain that.
Open a pressure valve.
It doesn't need to explain that at all.
Okay.
No.
Okay, cool.
Because the pressure is both physical and mental. It's like it's a little bit. It's always negative, maybe even for everyone involved, but at least for the individual that rolled it, their ship, or their fellow crew. It should be depth related as well.
Mm.
I feel like it's got to be something with Ahab.
Ooh.
I was also thinking that. My thought is, Ahab might be cool with Ezra right now, but who knows who else who might be tied to Old Ornell might have some grudges still.
Mm.
Ooh.
Yes, Brian,
Yes.
young man in the black shirt.
Could Ahab, after having that flash of Old Ornell, I think that's something not only Ezra sees, but also Ahab sees. Could Ahab gain a whisper?
Oh my god!
Is the whisper squeak squeakerson?
The whisper is absolutely squeak squeakerson.
Brian, I like that a lot. Is everybody cool with that?
Yeah.
Aye.
Yep.
Yeah, Ahab gains the whisper. Oh, I'm not going to tell you the whisper that Ahab gains.
It translates from squeakerson.
I can't wait for Ahab to just in full, just like not a squirrel voice anymore, just full and low sour. just say some wild shit.
Hey, we're in the depths, baby. Shit gets weird. The counselor voice is actually Ahab's voice.
Counselor.
His whisper is, I do declare.
Oh, I love it.
This is a mistrial, goddammit.
Now, I
Permission to
may
approach
just
the
be a
bench.
young judge. From
We got a
Wildsea.
montage to move through. We've got Whistlin, we've got Ezra, Cherry, Izora, or Bats. Montage.
I'm gonna pull Izora down to the galley if you're okay with it.
Yeah.
And I think what's happening here is Cherry's just making tea and kind of just like pacing back and forth and making it so subconsciously, using the fucking lemongrass, by the way, I might add. And I'm using it quite indignantly. I'm using way more of it than I need, and I'm like wasting some of it, and I'm just like so mad. And I'm just like, I'm kind of just like venting while Izora is there. And I'm just like, I just don't get, like, everybody just seems fine with it, and it seems like it's dangerous, and she tried to kill us, and then she was at the council, and I just feel like I'm missing something. Am I missing something? Like, what is going on here?
It is not. No, we are angry. All of these things have come flooding back to us. It is so much to process at one time. We are not in position to make rash decisions right now.
Well, we made one by letting her on the ship.
To be fair, we were under attack alone.
Ezra pokes out from behind Cherry.
Yeah, he literally just walks right in with a flask of coffee in his hand.
Ooh.
I forgot about the coffee.
Cherry, I'm beginning to think you might have a problem, but you know what? So do I. Here you go. And I pour out a little thimble full of cold brew and extend it out to one of Cherry's leaves.
Oh, okay. I feel the same amount of angry, but like faster now. And I think as Cherry is, she kind of just keeps venting and it just kind of keeps going in circles. But I think subconsciously what happens here is once all the ingredients for the tea are in the bowl, subconsciously, she kind of lifts her arm, one that was covered in the Leviathan's blood and a little bit of Liz's blood, and she just kind of pours it into the bowl, not thinking about anybody else who's watching. She's done this so many times, and it just happens. It goes in the bowl. The bowl of tea turns like this deep crimson red, and she's just like, I mean, I just feel like we should have talked this out before. Anyway, do you want a cup of tea?
First, hold on. I pull out. Ezra pulls out a book and flips through it. I'm gonna attempt to rearrange. But can I touch you?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Can I have some more coffee?
Addict. Yes.
I feel like this is fair trade, yes.
Yes, you can. And as Ezra walks behind, he's like literally rearranging your roots and your bark and the branches that make up your arm, as I'm going to clear 2 marks from your barrel-chested trait.
Oh.
Yeah.
A little bit bigger.
Wow.
A little bit bigger tree.
Bigger tree.
Cherry, what is your goal for this moment in the montage? Is there anything specific you want to do to this tea, or was your goal, I'm making tea and I'm slipping in this little bit of blood?
I would like to read the remains again and try to get an omen from this cup of tea.
Yes.
Do you roll for that?
I don't. It's one of my traits.
What are you looking for then?
I'm going to do the same thing I did the first time, which is I'm going to infuse a whisper into it. So if you'll allow me, I'm going to roll a d6.
Oh, this is fun.
4.
Okay.
Oh, never mind. I was gonna propose that if Izora drank the tea as well and gave a cheers, if I could give advantage, but you got the roll you wanted, so it's fine.
There's no whisper advantages. I just can't make that. I can't make that any more clear.
Right. Sorry.
We're gonna get one from you. We're gonna keep proposing things, and one time you're gonna be like, "Hey, actually, that one worked."
Okay, you're right.
And
You're
that's
right,
how we win the game.
Because I'm a sucker.
Because she's a big tree.
I'm just kind of a big little tree.
Listen, big tree, what are you trying to do here? What's the whisper?
Actually, you're not a big tree anymore.
No, yeah,
We got some big tree back.
I'm
We got some
I'm-
big tree back.
I'm rebiggening.
Yeah, rebiggening.
Okay.
The rebiggening. Go ahead.
I whisper my whisper, or rather I say my whisper into my blood tea. And I just say, I just feel like we need to establish the circle of friends. And circle of friends is my whisper that I use.
What is the change you inflict upon the world with the whisper circle of friends as you read this omen?
Tell me if this is allowed. I don't want Captain Elia to be able to lie to us.
Ooh. Okay.
That's not something a friend would do.
I like that.
It is
I
not
like that a
something
lot.
friend would do.
I like that a great deal, actually.
Great.
And then what's the omen you are looking to read in the tea leaves?
I'm going to just down my cup of blood tea, and I kind of just want to get even like a really, really vague imagery type of omen about like what to expect in the near future. I know that's really vague, so let me know if you want more specific, but I used my whisper, I got what I wanted, so I'm down for just like really broad strokes.
Cherry, I think the way that your omens work is that when you look at the tea leaves, an image forms in your mind that is much more clear than the depiction of the tea leaves, if that sounds right to you.
Mm-hmm.
You get that same flash Whistlin got. You don't know about it. But you get a gargantuan creature of pale glowing fur with thousands of wide, violent, toothed maws. And you hear an ear-splitting cacophony as you absorb this omen.
Cherry, as you like come out of this trance and open your eyes, you see Whistlin is standing there with a teacup, but looking completely pale-faced because he had come down to finally get a cup of tea and saw you.
Whistlin was like, "Yay, lemongrass!"
Yay!
Whistlin was standing there ready to get a cup of tea to finally take one of your cups of tea, saw you drip blood in, and then go into a trance, whisper a thing, have like weird, eerie sounds go around him. He saw, in some sense, the ability for Captain Elia to lie go through the ship. And then you just see him slowly lower the cup and put it back into his breast pocket and goes, "I'll see myself out."
Did you not want coffee? Okay.
Have some tea. Okay.
There is tea, Whistlin? No? Okay.
As we come out to see the ship continuing to move through the tangle, you guys come to a point where you need to decide if you're going a further level down. Are you going a further level down?
We get the sense that like that's where we
That's the
need
path.
to go. Yeah. Izora can take her montage of I guess it's related. It's not so much like we'll make the decision,
Yeah, go
but
ahead.
then it's related. I wanted to roll and use veils and sense to gather information from the things around the ship of preparing either like further understanding the path that we need to take or further understanding of what exactly we are headed toward. Like what is the end of this path?
Okay, great. Roll for me. That's
okay,
great.
Cool. So that's one. Oh, and then I have a question about an aspect I have.
Mm-hmm.
It is tunnel-wise. Treat conflicts as triumphs when navigating or moving through enclosed areas.
Ooh.
I think that if you wait until you guys move down to the second level, like if we're saying this happens after that movement, then that feels like the ship is in an enclosed area. I'd allow you the use of that.
Okay, cool. And so I still roll, though.
Yes, so the ship moves down into the sink. An even tighter, denser, claustrophobic feeling as you guys all feel the collective pressure of the ship tipping down, and you feel the branches scraping against the side as you move through this even denser area.
Izora's just on the bow of the ship trying to see all the things and using her luminescent bone to try to gain some insight from the areas. I'm rolling 1 die for veils and 3 for sense.
Great, and you're using this aspect. Oh no, that's what turns the conflict into triumph if you roll a 4 or 5. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that's 1, 2, 3, 5.
1, 2, 3, 5. A conflict is a triumph for you.
Yowza.
You are looking for information about what is about to happen.
Yeah, information about where we're headed and what we will find there.
Izora, you get a few pieces of information about what's about to happen. For the first time maybe in this story, we follow Izora around the ship in the quiet, sneaky way that she has a habit of showing up behind people from her perspective.
Izora never gets footsteps in the sound design.
Nope.
You learn a couple things. You find that when you walk by the room that Liz and Elia are staying in, you see Liz open the crate that she dragged on board. And within that crate is a weapon that you recognize from the memory that you saw a couple days ago. A very eldritch-looking weapon that seems to have been grown as much as it has been crafted. That has a chamber at the back of it that has some sort of burned out substance in it like it was used up. But you see Liz sort of examining this weapon.
Oh, no.
You find in Captain Kelly's room, because you are especially suspicious of her, even with the full context of now your memory of her. You find that similar to the prophecy that Ezra read, there is a piece of prophecy in Captain Kelly's desk, almost as a continuation of the previous one, that reads, "If Howl and Void were ever to meet, the mutual consumption would be complete. Should the Wildsea witness such a clash, the words of this world would crumble to ash."
Oh. Oh.
Could you read the first stanza as well?
The full prophecy in its completion is thus. Like song needs rest and speech needs breath, howl needs void, and should that balance be upset, the waves and its denizens won't soon forget. But if howl and void were ever to meet, the mutual consumption would be complete. Should the Wildsea witness such a clash, the words of this world would crumble to ash. You find that in Kelly's private sort of desk area in her quarters.
Very interesting.
Waiting on the side of the ship for you. Your turn. Come on. You look like you've seen a ghost.
Ghost? Oh, Ezra. If only.
Can I touch you?
You say this, and then all of a sudden there's like a giant squid snail sort of tentacle in your face. Go for it.
Not that. And like brushing right past it, Ezra goes to grip your face and gently massages the jelly underneath your eyes. So what'd you see? Go on. And I'm gonna unmark 2 of your whispers in the dark trait.
Woo!
Very good.
I went for a walk, a little exploration, and I found something very interesting with our Captain Kelly's bedroom. She had notes that seemed to match the prophecy that we found in the shop owned by the other woman back in the port town.
The one in the wrong grammar, the one that was made after Hyven was already extinct.
Yes.
All right.
And then I saw that Liz is working on some kind of weapon. It did not seem like it perhaps would work right now, but she was tinkering with it.
Oh, good. Good.
Yes, it will be good.
And there we go.
And as we pull up over the ship again, continuing to move into the sink, as the leaves and branches go denser and denser, there's a moment where a group of folks are up on the deck, and one of the things you see out the window that causes a little bit of disconcerting is in the distance on a branch you see a group of beings, humanoid beings, sort of just sitting, and it looks like they're working on some kind of craft, maybe, or something. And when you get a closer look, you see that the 3 of them are pale, bone pale, removed of color, fully desaturated, very similar to Captain Elia. And you see that each of them have a cluster of that pale, glowing, tendril-like fur growing out of their mouth, fully stuck agape. And you see as one of them is pulling additional hair from their gullet, or their gut, rather, and stitching it together into something.
Oh, no.
And they all have glowing pale eyes as well.
Oh, no.
It's like the worst kind of crocheting on the subway I've ever seen.
It really is. These 4 are on a ship, right?
They're on a branch. They're just out in the sink, which is very strange.
Oh, I hate that.
You, from a distance saw the weaving happening and crafting. And as the ship moves on, you see that they sort of eventually pull off the bit that they've been working on and let it go into the air. Bats.
Yes. I guess I have to go talk to my mom.
You find your mom leaned against the very front of the ship, sort of looking forward thoughtfully.
She sees me approach this strange, leathery skinned person, that is vaguely shaped as her child.
I'll also remind you, in episode 1, you made Captain Elia afraid of bats.
That's so true.
Oh,
That's
you
so true.
sick fuck. You didn't have to remember that.
That's so true.
God.
You're correct. You're correct.
You approach, she turns and goes, fuck.
That's so fucked up. I didn't remember that.
She doesn't speak, but she reacts in that way,
Yeah.
I
I know old hand, so
And
if
you
she
know
wants
old
to
hand.
say that in old
it
hand.
the
she can.
raspy, the raspy muted voice of hers does let out a fuck. And then she signs an old hand. Sorry, I've got a thing with bats.
I sign back. That's okay.
Oh.
Are you really him?
I don't think so. And I'm not doing the voice, obviously, that I would do with bats because this is
It's
signing.
all
and-
in sign.
Yeah. I don't think so. But there is a part of him that I hold.
She responds, I can relate a bit. And you notice now, kind of standing this close to what you now remember as your mother, that she is a walking corpse. Her skin is the skin of a corpse. Her ears have been removed. Her neck is marked with many scars, and there's a weathering to her where she's almost unrecognizable, but just recognizable.
From what I remember of him, I think he would want you to know that he is sorry.
She stops you. She puts a hand up to stop you. No. I'm sorry. You were my responsibility.
But yeah, he still shouldn't have. He knew he shouldn't have, but he did. And maybe if he hadn't, who's to say?
It's okay. And she just pulls you, despite some reticence, into an embrace.
And being like no longer at in a way where they can sign anymore, forced to speak instead. Sorry. I'm
okay.
sorry.
It's okay.
I did. I spent so long thinking.
It's okay. It's okay. I'm here now. I'm here now. And she pulls back, and you see that tears have welled in her eyes, and she sort of wipes them, and and then something happens from nowhere that you see coming. A great tendril of hair, of pale glowing hair, pierces through Captain Elias, spreads, grabs her, and pulls her into the sink.
What?
And I jump off after her.
And that is all for this episode of My First Dungeon Presents The Wildsea.
Oh my god! What?
Elliot, what's with the hair?
What's the hair doing? What's the hair?
What is it?
Join us next time
No, you forgot.
as our crew likely has to rescue one of their own. Aye, aye, everybody.
Aye.
Nay.
No.
Nay.
No.
Nay.
No.
Nay.
Nay.
What's with the hair?
Bat.
This season of My First Dungeon is sponsored by Mythworks. Grab your own copy of The Wildsea by going to myth.works and use the promo code MyFirstDungeon to get 20% off your order. My First Dungeon presents The Wildsea features the voice talents
of Elliot Davis, Brian Flaherty, Abby Hepworth, Noordin Kadir, Kendrick Smith, and Jay Strautman. This episode was produced by Shenuque Tissera and Elliot Davis. Editing and sound design by Brian Flaherty. Theme song and original music by Behold. Additional music from artlist.io. The tree shanty, Give Me a Chart, was written and performed by Brian Flaherty and Jay Strautman, with instrumentation by Jay Strautman. To hear the cast talkback and to listen to the full version of Give Me a Chart, visit us on our Patreon. And remember, if you're having fun, you're already doing it right.
If you're hearing this, that means you have listened to every last second of this episode, and that probably makes you a fan of this show. Well, if you're a fan and you like what we're doing and want to help others find it as well, then consider leaving us a 5-star review over on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts. Getting more ratings really does help more people find the show, and reading your nice words about the things that we put out into the world makes us feel all warm and good inside, and we want more of those good feels. So head on over to your podcast player of choice and leave us a 5-star review. Thanks.